More. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo. I am so happy to see all of you here this morning. Hello and welcome to our friends on YouTube. We are glad to have people on their computers as well. And my name is Julie Taylor, and I'm a worship associate here at this church. And this morning, I am privileged to welcome probably somebody who has more energy and enthusiasm than I do, Shaun Doyle. Shaun Doyle is our tenor soloist with the church. He was a worship associate and a dedicated member of the choir for years and years. And he will be talking about a true celebration of opera and the magic and awe that it can inspire. So I'm really excited to have Shaun here with us this morning. We are blessed to be here together in this space of worship and acknowledge that the land upon which our church stands rests upon the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee people, the original nations of this land who continue to call for justice and self-determination. We are grateful to live and worship here. Brava to Jesse Downs and the music team who have prepared a simply incredible and masterful music selection for us today. And we have the tech team in the back helping us and making sure that we're broadcast to YouTube and making sure that the screen and all this other technical stuff goes off without a hitch. We are going to have a few announcements today, and I would love to welcome Martha Malkowitz to the podium. Martha will once again grace us with her presence.
I just want to let everyone know how we're doing Drive, which I have received pledge cards from at least half of you, and I know the 25% more, I know you guys personally, and I know you just haven't turned them in. So we are 3/4 of the way good for collecting our pledge cards. And remember, our pledge cards tell the church how much money do you got to work with next year. And they also, you don't have to start paying on anything until January because it's for 2025 that we're looking at. So we're really hopeful. And I will tell you, we have met with almost everybody on this list that I was given. If you were missed, it's my fault. So don't let me be wrong. Help me out, come see me and say, I do want to meet with someone, or, gee, it's great, but no thanks, I don't want to meet with anyone. That'd be great. And I will tell you that I might be able to sleep in November because I think we're going to cross over the threshold of 400,000. So let's keep it coming in.
I truly believe today may in fact turn you to an opera lover, and the timing is just perfect. Next weekend, join Sotto Voce for a celebratory gala evening of operatic scenes, food, and the presentation of a Lifetime Achievement Award to local opera legend Frank Scinta on Saturday, October 26th at 6:30 p.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo. After hearing Shaun's sermon on how opera changed his life, you will be clawing your way into the parish hall after service for a ticket to the upcoming gala. The gala evening will include a meal echoing the Italian and French musical selections of the program with a cash bar and a silent auction too. Who doesn't love silent auctions? Tickets will be available today in the parish hall. I do also have a couple of announcements from our friends in the ministerial search team. So also next Saturday, so before you go to the gala, so you're going to go into the parish hall, you're going to get a ticket to the gala, but before you do that, I'd like you to register for a Zoom class on a class called B4. It's called Break Barriers and Build Beliefs Workshop. It's part of our search team making sure that we are going to be ready to accept our next settled minister. So it's a great way to learn about how the whole process is working and about being welcoming and accepting for our next scheduled settled minister. The good news is that this section is on Zoom. So it's on Saturday morning from 9 o'clock to 12:30. So you can stay home in your PJs and do this training. It's a really nice way to do that. The unfortunate thing is that you can't roll out of bed and log in. You have to register. I'd love for you to register today. The link is in your e-blast. So you got two things to do right now. You've got to register for B4. You got to go buy your tickets to the Sotto Voce Gala. And I'm going to ask you for a third thing, and that is 2 more cottage meetings for the ministerial search team. One is today after service at high noon, so please come and join the ministerial search team at high noon for a cottage meeting to talk about our next settled minister and our beliefs and our faiths in what the church can become in the next 5, 10, 15 years and beyond. There is also another, if you can't make it today, there's another one after service next week as well. So those conclude all of our announcements. Alliance Room. It is in the Alliance Room. So they will welcome you with open arms in the Alliance Room today and next week. It's a good time to be here, isn't it? It's an even better time to move into a space of worship. So let us get up or stay seated, depending on what you are most comfortable with, and let's greet our neighbors and find people that we can connect with to build a space of community. Those ministerial search people, they get really cranky. Yep. Yeah. Yes, he did. And he wanted us to be in 2 places at once. I'm like, it's not going to work. We're just going to put it up when Shaun's singing. So, well, it's going to actually, like, offering ends. I go. We got it. We are good to go. Are you going to sing the words of Cat Stevens? I want to, but I'm not. Yeah, his name is something like different now. Israel or something? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, all right. They set enough. These people. So I read Julie Lights, and then we'll reverse it. Gotcha.
Cat Stevens sang, "Well, if you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. Because there's a million things to be. You know that there are. And if you want to be high, be high. And if you want to be low, be low. Because there's a million ways to go. You know that there are. You can do what you want. The opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, you can do it today. You can make it all true, and you can make it undo. You see? Aha! It's easy. Ah ha! It's easy. You only need to know. Please rise in body or spirit as we light this chalice together. We gather in loving community, inspiring one another to transform ourselves to create a more just and compassionate world. Please join us in singing hymn 196, Singer of Life.
Please be seated. Shaun asked Dr. Jesse Downs, the music director here at UUCB and founding and artistic director of the opera company Sotto Voce, "What does opera mean to you?" And this is what she said. "The approach to operatic singing that has been shared with me by my teachers focuses on uncovering the unique sound of each person's voice. I feel that this uncovering is both literal and metaphoric. When my voice was opened up, I felt like Harry Potter when he was told he was a wizard. Before my training, there was otherness and longing. After, there was empowerment and magic. Through being taught technical exercises that optimize my vocal strength and agility, I was shown the nearly superhuman potentials of my body. By studying and interpreting operatic stories, I found echoed in those stories my joys and sorrows, and found they were also the joys and sorrows of humanity. By putting technique and interpretation together, I was given a vehicle to breathe life into something transcendent and to let that something transcendent in turn breathe through me. Now, I am lucky enough to share what I have learned with others. When I work with people's voices, I make no assumptions about their abilities. Instead, I listen for the potential of the voice for themselves. As one of my students often likes to say in lessons, what is learned through this practice is not just lessons for singing, but for life. Through Sotto Voce, I explicitly feature voices trained in this liberatory way, whether long-term or through their involvement in our company, in hopes that sharing the rich, complex, varied, and highly emotive voices that emerge will inspire others to see and hear not only what opera can be, but what we all can be and what our shared humanity is.
Hi, everybody. I would like to welcome children of all ages, the young and young at heart, up to the front to hear the story of the magic flute. Oh, yeah. Hello, young people. The magic flute. Once upon a time, the world was split into two lands. One land was ruled by the sun, and the other the moon. After a disagreement, they fought day after day, year after year. This was the way of the world until a curious prince became lost in the mountains that separated these two kingdoms. Can you hear that? This book plays music, and to me, it's a riot. I don't know. I don't know. I think only the people sitting up front will hear it, but I am going to play that. So, Prince Tamino is starting his quest. Look, there's Prince Tamino being chased by a dragon. The dragon circles closer and closer, the fire from its breath licking at Prince Tamino's clothes. But just as the dragon is about to snare the prince, 3 mountain rangers gallop past on horses. "He looks kind," says Stella, "and generous," says Luna, "and lost," says Haley. They cast a spell to save the prince and send away the dragon into the night sky. The prince faints from shock. Opera is coming out of my book. I am putting, I don't know where the sound's actually coming from. I'm pressing the button though. When the dragon has disappeared, a funny figure pokes his head out from behind a rock. It's Papageno, the bird watcher. Hello, says Stella. Do you know who this man is? My lady, he is Prince Tamino, Papageno replies. I saved him from the dragon. Did you? Says Luna. Because I could have sworn we scared the dragon, not you. Haley casts a spell to padlock his mouth shut. Perhaps now you will learn not to tell lies, she says. Grumbles Papageno. Yeah. The noise wakes Tamino. Prince, Luna exclaims, we saved your life and we ask for something in return. We work for the Queen of the Night, whose daughter was taken prisoner by the Sun King. Haley shows the prince a picture of the powerful Princess Pamina. You must bring her home so she can end this war, replies Stella. She is the only one the queen will listen to. Oh, Taryn just showed me where the music is coming out of in this book. Nice of you. Suddenly, the Queen of the Night herself appears in a burst of thunder. She begs the prince to find her daughter. Tamino, it will be a very dangerous journey. Take this magic flute and this fairy to guide you, says the queen. And you, Papageno, you shall have your voice back and some magic bells. Use them both wisely. Dear Lord. The fairy leads Tamino through the dark woods and to the Sun King's palace. Tamino plays a tune on his magic flute, and the joyful melody calls Princess Pamina to her window. Princess, your mother asked me to come here to rescue you, shouts Tamino. Prince, she shouts, I don't need rescuing, but I do have a plan. Let's end this ridiculous war once and for all. Meet me in the tower. Oh, I never know what it's going to do. But on his way, the palace guards spot the prince. Tamino leads them in a merry chase around the twisting halls, but they are simply too fast and too many. Tamino is caught. Anyone working for the Queen of the Night will be locked away forever, says one guard. Papageno hides out of sight, eyes wide and heart beating. Just then, he remembers the Queen's magic bells. Could they help Prince Tamino escape? Papageno shakes the silver chimes and the guards dance like puppets. Meanwhile, Pamina rushes to Tamino's cell and sets him free. We'll escape and go to my mother. I can persuade her to stop the war, says Pamina. But just then, a huge crash from the outside makes them jump. That's the prettiest crash I've ever heard. The queen is outside and ready for battle. Pained that her plan did not work, she is here to get rid of the Sun King once and for all. But the king will not go easily. They battle for hours. Sunbeams and night stars surge into a storm so powerful it blows them both away. Finally, winds of change bring peace to the lands. Tamino and Pamina are chosen by the people as rightful rulers. Seeds that are sown in the dark bloom in the sun, says Pamina. May there always be peace and never be war in our lands again. And every day the sun rises and the moon sets. Neither one is more important than the other, and everyone has their place. So, yeah, I just wanted to know, did anyone have a favorite part of that? Yes.
The music.
Yeah, the book is kind of great, right? It gives you a little taste of the actual music from the opera. Anybody else have anything? Yeah.
When they got blown away.
Yeah, when they got blown away, that was super dramatic, right? I love that too. All right, let's take a moment now. Oh yeah, you have something? What is your favorite part? Oh, you liked when Papageno's mouth got shut and he was going, mm-hmm. Yeah, they put a lock on his mouth. Oh, you're very good. You have a little acting skill. All right, we are going to sing you to your classes now. Please join us in doing that, everyone. Thank you.
Each week, we take a good portion of our Sunday morning offering and give it away to a social justice cause outside our church walls. October's Share the Plate recipient is Compeer of Greater Buffalo. Compeer of Greater Buffalo believes in the transformative power of human connection for improving mental health. For over 40 years, the organization has supported individuals with mental health challenges through friendships, mentorships, helping them build resilience and find a sense of belonging. You can donate in several ways. Mail a check made out to UUCB directly to the church, drop cash or a check in the collection plate, or go online through the church website, buffalouu.org, and donate through PayPal, or even better, set up a recurring donation through your bank or through the church. The end result is the same. We give to these causes to support the values of our faith. Give generously as you can so that we can live into our values.
chiaro in quel vicino ch'io fobrea piate il petto no sé cosa sorprendente galante, e son sargente, non va bella che resista alla vista d'un celiero che del Marte Dio guerriero fin la madre dell'amor cede mate Dio guerriero fina madre dell'amor cede mate Dio guerriero fin la madre dell'amor.
Let us now enter into a quiet moment of prayer, meditation, and contemplation with this prayer written by the Reverend Douglas Taylor. No relation. Eternal Spirit, from whom all things come and to all things return, we gather this morning in community, seeking to live in the harmony. Each of us here gathered lives out our lives knowing our own story, our own private melody. Life at its highest and its sweetest is a sharing. Life is a sharing of our melodies, of our love and interest, of our yearning and questions. We gather this morning as individuals creating harmony and community together. May our different ways of knowing and naming the holy blend together. May our voices be added to the holy choruses of life. May we practice our scales that we may better improvise and recognize where we come in and when it is our time. The world is rife with discord and trouble. Injustice and suffering weigh us down and trip us up and stop our voices. May we learn to trust and love in God and our own voices and the trembling faith of our forebears, to trust that we have a part in this symphony and we can join this chorus and bring some beauty to the cacophony around us. May there be times of gentle tones and soothing melodies. May there be rhythms upon which we can rely to rally our spirits in need. There may be teachers and bandmates, fans, and good companions to help call our best music out of us. May there be moments when we are transported, moments when we discover that we are not playing the music so much as the music is following through us. The music is playing us. O Spirit of life, may our song be among the songs of the Spirit. May there be beauty in our song and in our living. May there be meaning and power in our song, and may our individual voices blend into the chorus that is thee, O Spirit. This we ask in the name of all that is holy. May it be so. Now I invite you to say the names in your head or out loud of the people in your lives who are suffering in silence or celebrating in joy. Each name a breath, each breath a prayer.
Bill, Sally, Nikki, Allison.
May the Spirit of life be with us, be among us, blessed be, and let the church say, Amen.
I'm going to go off book here for a minute. When I was a little boy, my mother played the piano, and I used to lie under the piano while she played. It was as close as I could get to that music. If I could have crawled into the piano, I would have. And I just remember her playing Claire de Lune, Malagueña, and just the louder it got, the more I just wanted to crawl into the piano. The reason I tell you this is because what an honor to sit between those two voices. My ear, it reminded me of being under that piano. I as close as I could get to those sublime voices. Thank you so much for that beautiful piece. So today I'm going to tell you how being in an opera changed my life. Before I was in Sotto Voce's production of The Magic Flute just this past February, I was an ordinary guy. I waltzed through life with ease, choosing projects and tasks I knew I was good at. This was my MO. At the age of 51, I made a dramatic career change from 20 years in human services and child welfare to becoming a corporate trainer for independent health. It was jarring, and still is. I was tired and confused and thought, let's just stick to things I know I'm good at. About a year before, I started studying voice with Dr. Jesse Downs. Jesse believes in me even when I don't believe in myself. I hope to sing show tunes, pop hits, little ditties that I've been singing for years. Jesse challenged me with giving me the piece I sang today, Come paride vezzoso. Is that from a Sondheim show? No, Shaun, it's not. It's an aria. It's in Italian. It's opera. Opera is magnificent. Opera is dramatic. Opera is hard. I worked on this one piece for months. I toiled. I took notes. I wrote it out phonetically. I had all sorts of arrows and highlighted each section in a different color. I could not nail the end of the piece until just before our recital, but I did nail it. 3 months of work to sing a 3-minute aria. I was not used to this. So much work. If this was opera, I wanted no part in it. Too much tension. Cut to me about a year later when Jesse told me there was a role in the upcoming production of The Magic Flute that I might be right for. The character had 2 very short moments at the end of the first act and at the end of the second and final act. She gave me the music to look at. It was only like 4 pages in total. I could do that, right? I have never been in an opera before and thought, let's try something that you've never done before, buddy. How could I say no to Jesse? I grew up in a house where countertenor Luciano Pavarotti was like a patron saint, and where opera was on the radio every weekend while my Sicilian mother made Sunday sauce. My mother was a music teacher for years, and I was raised on classical music. I went to see Puccini's La Bohème when I was just a little kid and could hum the entire second act before I was 10. I fell in love with opera. I mean, come on! As a little Gayling who had a flair for the dramatic, how could I resist? You don't have to be a Gayling, though, to recognize the utter fantasy that comes with the theatrical drama of it all. Huge gowns, dreamy suits, crazy wigs, exaggerated makeup, towering sets, live animals in Aida. It all weaves together to help form a character on stage, one you'll surely notice even from the tip-top tier of the theater. It was also a night on the town with my mom, with rice pudding at the town restaurant afterwards. Going to the opera with my mom and then to the town is a core memory that I cherish. I felt so glamorous. There was also emotion for days. Talk about all the feels. If a story makes singing your feelings to a huge audience seem normal, you can bet emotions are running high. We're talking the deepest love, the most crushing loss, utter joy, and irrepressible rage. The orchestra will move you. The singing will move you. The acting will move you. Bring tissues. Aubrey Nagel speaks to the sheer miracle an operatic voice truly is. She says, the sheer athleticism required to perform operatic repertoire continues to astound us. An opera singer must care for their voice as if it's the most delicate, precious jewel and train for years in order to sing at the professional level. The best of the best make it look effortless, like we just saw, all while traversing the stage in elaborate costumes and conveying the power and emotion of their characters. Oh, and they don't use microphones. Talk about a wow factor. Back to the magic flute. This was the life I wanted, I decided. I seemed to forget that I could barely learn one short aria just a year before. The end product, my performance, was really terrific though, a crowd pleaser, and if Jesse thought I could do it, I would give it a shot. What did I have to lose? I knew I was in trouble at the table reading. The whole cast was there. I was starstruck by the beautiful people who were sitting around the big table. Jesse said, "Let's go around the table and introduce ourselves. Tell us what your role is, and then tell us what your favorite Mozart melody is." Oh God, help me now. I had no idea what to say. I barely heard the other folks introduce themselves as I struggled to Google popular Mozart tunes under the table before they even got to me. When they did get to me, I said, "My name is Shaun. I am playing Monostatos, who in the original opera was sort of an amalgam of racist stereotypes, but in Alex Huddleston's reimagining, it's sort of a bratty, overblown buffoon who mimics all of those around him." And then I busted out with, "And as for my favorite Mozart tune, Phil took mine. But I do love the song Believe by Cher." At least they all laughed. I left there wondering if I could fit in with these folks, some of whom had PhDs in music and a vast knowledge of the art. I was nervous. I told my therapist that I had bitten off more than I could chew. I told her, "I am in this opera for a total of 3 minutes. It's a 3-hour opera, Megan. I am having trouble hitting the high notes, can't get the counting down for when I come in singing, and mangling the German, and I'm so anxious when it's my turn to sing that my forearms get sweaty. Megan, I'm used to being good at things." There, I said it. And here was her answer. "I think this is exactly what you need. It's good tension." Viktor Frankl, author of Man's Search for Meaning, believed that a healthy state of mind includes some tension. He believed that tension is a natural part of searching for meaning and that it's normal to feel tense when faced with something that challenges you. Frankl believed that striving for a worthwhile goal is more important than a tensionless state, and that people should intentionally create tension to move themselves forward. Have I been living in a tensionless state, as Frankl called it? Was opera creating the good tension in my life I didn't know I needed? It was creating something, nearing panic, but not quite. There is a great adage, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I have believed this for years, but at this age and at this time in my life, I could not quite live up to those words. Being in the opera was like being in the land of 1,000 uncomfortables, singing my few lines over and over and not getting it right, effing up the German, coming in on my part too early in the piece, not coming in at all. Maybe they won't notice if I just don't sing. I will tell you again, my part in the Magic Flute was 3 minutes of about 180 minutes of music. Jesse made this role simple and fun, knowing my little entrances at the end of each act would be memorable and just enough to give me a taste of what being in opera is like. Super thoughtful. She continued to believe in me. Back to Viktor Frankl. He stated, mental health is based on a certain degree of tension, the tension between what one has already achieved and what one still ought to accomplish, or the gap between what one is and what one should become. Such a tension is inherent in the human being and therefore is indispensable to mental well-being. He continues, and one should not think that this holds true only for normal conditions. In neurotic individuals, that's me, it's even more valid. If architects want to strengthen a decrepit arch, they increase the load which is laid upon it, for thereby the parts are joined more firmly together. So if therapists wish to foster their patients' mental health, they should not be afraid to create a sound amount of tension through a reorientation toward the meaning of one's life. This is deep. Robert Merrill in the Saturday Evening Post said, "When in doubt, sing loud." Alto soloist Helen Lowry said, "Just pretend you're an opera singer and just go for it. That's what I do." I tried both techniques and they helped. I gained confidence. I can do this. I'm a storyteller, a raconteur by trade. Richard Mantle, director of Opera North in the United Kingdom, said, "The combination of dramatic narrative, stagecraft, and music, and especially the range and vulnerability of the human voice, make opera the art form that comes closest to expressing pure emotion. It is storytelling at its most vivid and manipulative." That's me, vivid and manipulative. Speaking of which, in doing my research for my character, I learned that the character of Monostatos in The Magic Flute was a bad man. His origins in the libretto are as a lecherous blackamoor, lusting after the pure, beautiful Pamina. You notice they left that out of the children's story? Monostatos is an outcast even in his name, which is Greek for standing alone. In the original libretto, Monostatos sings an aria that includes one of the most hateful lines in opera. You can give that a goog after the service. The Met's English language version sanitizes this with something more innocuous. Nevertheless, knowing the origin of this character makes loving opera, or at least the Magic Flute, more complex and difficult. And for some, it may make it impossible. Opera can be very polarizing. I spent many days and nights in this sanctuary with both Alex Huddleston and Jesse Downs. In fact, Alex is here right now working on a documentary about our church. Hi, Alex. Hi. What Alex and Jesse did was to retool the Magic Flute so that a new audience could love it. Gone were some of the controversial complexities, and also, ironically, gone was my racist aria, thank God. They rewrote my character with fresh eyes, making him a bit part, but also a memorable player in the ensemble. Since Sotto Voce combines many types of media, there were filmed bits too, where I could do some acting. This established my character before I ever came out to sing my little parts, end capping the acts. Alex and Jesse were kind to me, rehearsing with me in their home, feeding me, and giving me creative license. They were respectful of not only my time, but the time of the cast. The whole rehearsal process was beyond organized, and we ended exactly on time all but once. I was amazed and so proud to be part of something that smacked with excellence and innovation. I'm in an opera, y'all. I started to tell everyone I knew. Did I tell you I was in a real opera? I also dared to say, yeah, I sing a little opera on the side. Do I, though? That was yet to be determined. The closer the show got, the harder I worked. I can honestly say I have never worked so hard at anything in my entire life. These 3 minutes of singing were the toughest of my career. I wrote the lyrics over and over again in a notebook so I could memorize them and be off book. Oh God, I clung to my lyric sheet like Linus clinging to his blanket. I listened to recordings of my part over and over. I practiced in my car at red lights. Even on opening night, I was writing and rewriting the German and typing it into my notes page on my phone. I have never worked so hard at anything. Minus some childhood trauma, I have had a pretty charmed life. I'm good at a bunch of things and learned early to soar with my strengths and minimize my weaknesses. I've sung what I call honest jazz, written and starred in my own cabaret, have 20 plus years of choral music singing behind me, and can perform before an audience with ease. With opera, I had met my match. It was crazy uncomfortable, but it provided enough good tension to keep my life engaging, challenging, and hopefully full of beauty courtesy of the opera. Greta Gerwig says, everybody is always in the middle of their own opera. I was taking this to the next step by actually being in the middle, or in this case, at the tail end of a real live opera. It began to dawn on me that even though the tension created by putting myself out there and singing in my first opera had me running to therapy, that the opera itself could be just the therapy I needed. I know, so meta, your mind is probably spinning. Author Ryan Smith writes that the therapeutic power of opera and music in general includes, but is not limited to, improving mood, reducing anxiety and stress, emotional exploration, developing deeper breathing patterns. A person who takes part in opera practice will learn how to breathe at a deeper level in order to maximize and amplify their voice. Not only can this improve their opera capabilities, it will teach them to be more mindful of their breathing, which again can greatly reduce levels of stress. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out opera. It can also improve communication and social skills. In the end, performing my teeny part on opening night and in the closing matinee changed my life. Sure, I messed up my words twice, missed a beat and didn't sing when I was supposed to, and squeaked out a high A during my death scene, which, by the way, based on the caftan-like frock I was wearing, my friends described as me running away from the sword like a terrified Mrs. Roper from Three's Company. I don't care. I stand by my choices. I was a changed man. Remember when I said pre-monostatos, I waltzed through life with ease, choosing projects and tasks I knew I was good at? No more. Being in an opera taught me to seek out good tension, and if there was none there, to create it. Like Viktor Frankl said, people should intentionally create tension to move themselves forward. I entered that table read as a share-loving boy. Now I had become a man. It put hair on my chest. Being in an opera taught me to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, to move through the discomfort to the other side. Some people are uncomfortable with even listening to opera. Give it a chance. What makes you uncomfortable about it? My husband told me, babe, opera's not my thing. And I said, yeah, but I'm in this opera. could you please come? If you keep moving through the tough rehearsals where you just can't seem to get it right, and the feeling that you just don't fit in, you are bound to reach the other end of the tunnel. I learned that I could pull lessons from almost every part of the process, including seeing the very music I was singing as the therapy I needed to get through the very music I was singing. I'll repeat that. The very music I was singing was the therapy I needed to get through the very music I was singing. It was built right in. So I ask you, what good tension can you seek out? If it's not there, what good tension can you create? What makes you uncomfortable? Can you imagine getting comfortable with being uncomfortable? What would that be like? This past summer, just a few months after being in the opera, my mom died. There were many tasks related to her death that were not only difficult, but also incredibly intense. I can honestly say that being in an opera for a total of 3 minutes got me ready to do some unimaginable things during the time my mother died and the days following. That's how hard I worked on my little part in this grand production. That good tension got me ready for tension of a different kind. It galvanized me. I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable and quickly. Will I ever perform in an opera again? Alex Huddleston, you just mind your own business over there and keep filming. That's a great question. I just know in my heart that if I did have that chance, I would learn much more than a libretto and a score. I would learn life lessons I can take with me for when the next challenge arrives. To Alex and Jesse, I am forever grateful. Bravo, my friends. Bravo. Now it's your turn to sing. Please join me in singing hymn 36, When in Our Music.
words to extinguish your chalice as written in your order of service. As we extinguish the flame of this chalice, may we carry its light with us into the world in the power of peace, faith, justice, and love.
May you leave this time together changed. May the promises you have made to yourself about who you want to be feel closer to the reality of who you are right now. May you share that feeling of transformation wherever you go. May it spread into every word, deed, thought, and interaction until we are all changed, transformed and transforming together, becoming our better selves. Always remember, if you want to sing out, sing out. There's a million things to do. You know that there are.